Jack Short, tight end, set to the left. Blackman easily into the end zone. He was caught at the goal line by a defender, and he said,
he wanted no part of it.
Come on, Daniel Adams, let's roll in the end zone right along with me. And that's exactly what he did. Touchdown, Central Arkansas. The Bears are back in it.
All right, welcome in. Pizza Ranch in Conway. Carlos Blackman with another touchdown, and we're losing track. I think that's 18 maybe in his career, but he certainly has a penchant for finding the end zone. Unfortunately, Bears did not find the end zone quite enough. They fall in overtime, 34-31. Third straight week, Coach, we've had extended play, this time because of overtime. But, man, we talked about it in the postgame. It was such a great fight by your guys. You lose your starting quarterback, and you guys battle back to get it to overtime. And, unfortunately, your field goal gets blocked. They make theirs, and that's how it shakes out sometimes.
Yeah, and we were talking before. I mean, that's somewhat obviously if you're on the losing end of it, it's not fun. But that's why football is so intriguing and why the sport's so special. Because I mean, you talk about being down 14 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and our guys. Battled their way through it, believed in what we were trying to do. And, our offense, defense, special teams all came through there at the end and gave us an opportunity to go win the football game. And, we obviously weren't able to do it in regulation, but to have the opportunity to go to overtime at a tough place and, against a great football team was something that you couldn't ask for. Because there was a couple times there where we were down, 2 scores where it would have been easy to fold, if our team didn't believe or we didn't have the desire to go win the football game. We could have laid over and it could have got ugly. So pleased at the effort by our guys, just relentless. They left it on the field. At the end of the day, Sam Houston just made one more play than we did.
Well, there's always something special about Sam Houston week and going on the road. And you guys hadn't won there since you were the quarterback. And so it would have been a while, and I know it would have been great to get over in this one. It certainly would put you guys in the driver's seat in the conference race, but obviously it doesn't undo everything. Long way to go in the season. I guess there's a sort of an extra edge there. And for them, Coach, they're a team that was really backed up. You knew you were going to get their best shot because they felt like they had to win the game, I'm assuming, after losing back-to-back games, including one at home. And then they also decided to throw a wrinkle in there and start a quarterback nobody had ever seen since he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. And that's always tough when you're dealing with a new quarterback, someone you haven't seen on film a whole lot of. You prepare for one guy, you prepare for each week, put a game plan around, and then they decided to, that kid must have gave him a spark at Nichols and decided to give him the start. And credit goes to him. He's a good football player. I think they might have settled on a really good quarterback for years to come. He's a young kid, very, very good escapability, tough to tackle, and throws a good ball. He's got some really good receivers around him that helps him out. But it's a tough deal. Either way, we got to go out and win and execute. And Sam did it a little better on Saturday. But to have the opportunity to go play in a tough environment, probably top 5, 6, 8 places, toughest places to play in the FCS level. So to have the opportunity to go win the football game in the end is something that we don't take lightly or for granted, but something we're definitely disappointed we didn't get accomplished.
Well, it was nice to get the running game going, and more on that in a bit. That's going to be increasingly important over the next couple of weeks. But 194 yards, 47 rushes in the game, and we mentioned Carlos, who scored the touchdown there on the highlight coming into the game. He had 127 yards, by far his best performance of the year so far. We talked about him. He trucked a couple of guys along the way, which we see a lot of from him. 22 carries. He had a good game in the run game, really got going. And so in addition to the guys running hard and playing with a great intensity, what do you attribute the success to on the offense and the running game?
Well, I think another week of growth on our offensive line. I mean, the assignment-wise, they get better week in and week out. I mean, you can see the progression from week 1 at Tulsa all the way to week 4 of Sam Houston. And they're continuing to get better. I mean, like I've said all along, they're very talented. It's just, there's 5 guys that you have to mesh together doing one thing and accomplishing one goal and all thinking the same way at the same time, and that's hard to do. So they continue to grow. Coach Boykin's doing a great job with those, but I thought our running backs ran with passion on Saturday. I mean, Carlos ran great. Kier had some big runs, a huge run in the fourth quarter, a long touchdown. And then Cedric had some spots where he looked really good too. So all 3 of those running backs ran great, but I think our offensive line is coming together and they need to in a great way as we move forward.
We're going to talk to Jakari Dillard, who had the highlight of the night, 80-yard touchdown catch coming up a little bit later. Also Jackie Harvell, who had a great night, a guy that has showed us some signs last year and is really continuing to grow in the defense and certainly a key cog in that. And the defense against Sam Houston State will be called on a lot as the season wears on. So We talked about some of the good thing, Coach. The big bad thing, obviously, is the fact that late in the game, Braylon Smith goes down with a leg injury that looks like it's going to cost him the remainder of the season. Didn't happen until late in the game, and again, we talked about it. Your guys responded extremely well, and Kirk Ball comes in and throws his first touchdown as a Bear. Jack Short got his first catch as a Bear, which ended up being a touchdown, which was great. But obviously it's a tough thing, and you're going to have to move on from it, but you do have to also take time to tip your cap to a guy who was having an incredible season.
Yeah, that's the hard part is, our team's going to be fine. I'm fine. That's why we coach. We coach to put guys on the field and give ourselves a position to win. Our players are going to be fine. We're going to throw touchdowns. We're going to catch. We're going to run. All those things. Defense is going to continue to play great. You just hate it for the kid. You hate it for Braylon. All the work and effort he's put in. Just a passionate love for the game. Competitive kid. I said it, after the game and the post game with you. If it was a neat deal. I mean, if that kid, if there was any possible way to strap that ankle and tie it together or whatever you do, he would have done it. I really believe that. And just unfortunate for the young man because of how good a season, not necessarily how good a season he's having. He's having a phenomenal season. I mean, he's on pace to, be probably the best quarterback in the league. And, it's unfortunate, but that's the way football is. And you got to get the next man ready. And I thought Kirk Ball responded in an unbelievable way. He'd been sitting over there, cold as you get, and hadn't thrown a pass since warm-ups. And you get thrown into, a first and goal and go win the football game or go tie the game to make this thing into overtime. I mean, it couldn't have been more of a pressure-packed situation. And Kirk, he handled it, very maturely. And then he goes and runs a play that he hasn't even repped. I mean, we've repped it as a team, but that throwback to Jack was a play that as a second-team quarterback, a lot of the special plays you work, you don't get those reps. So just a great job by him, and he gave us a chance to go into overtime and have a chance to win the football game. So unfortunate situation for us, but like I said, we feel like we've done a good job recruiting quarterbacks, and we've got to get those guys ready to play as we move forward.
Yeah, there is something about the way you guys have done things, and we started singing the praises. We didn't have a lot of time because it was late in the game when we realized that Braylon wasn't going to be able to come back, but you've done such a great job in your time here, both as an offensive coordinator, now I'm sure it'll continue as head coach, about getting quarterbacks ready, and you don't see that everywhere. People take it for granted. Mm-hmm. Even at the NFL level, the backup, the drop-off is so significant, but at UCA, for whatever reason, you guys have done such a great job of not only preparing the starter and getting a high-quality play, but the backup. So
throws it down, has Dillard all alone at the 40, 35-30, 25-20, breakdown, Bear catch, touchdown Bears! Wow! Jakari Dillard didn't have a guy within 15 yards of him. Holy Moses! What happened?
All right, welcome back. 7:13. I was as surprised as anybody. That worked out. I don't know what you guys called it, but it worked really well, Coach. Jakari Dillard, senior wide receiver, kind enough to join us. So, Jakari, I'll ask you, what did you see on that play? Because it looked good from where I was sitting.
Yeah, I mean, all week on film, we talked about how when it gets in third and long, this corner and safety, they just sit at 15, and we call bombs away, and we just ran right past them.
Yeah.
That's the play call, by the way.
Bombs away?
Bombs away.
I like that. That worked out well. Coach, we had talked, over the first few weeks of the season, and I kept asking, run. It's like 2 yards a rush, 3 yards a rush, whatever. Struggled to get it going. And you said, hey, look, I mean, they're loading the box. It is what it is. And I'm lucky you guys were able to hit some big balls. Did you see the approach change a little bit this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you loosen a defense like we were fortunate enough to do at Southeastern, I mean, that now you play a team that's got to respect the deep ball, and we had success again on Saturday, hitting Jakari on that deep ball, and a couple more down the sidelines that had shots. So anytime you can put that stuff on film, it's going to be huge for you.
Jakari, you're a guy that has came here from Texas Tech and has waited your turn and continued to get more opportunities, and obviously that's going to continue to lean on you. You've done a little bit of everything so far. I mean, you're catching slants, the big ball the other day, 80 yards. Is that the longest touchdown you've ever had?
That's my longest
Okay.
one, yes.
All right. I was telling these guys I was so open I could have caught that thing. I would have never made it the full 80, but I would definitely could have grabbed that one. As far as, being patient and I guess working for this moment, knowing this was going to be your opportunity to be one of the guys. Mm-hmm. I guess how did you prepare and how did you stay patient for this moment?
I don't know. I'm a patient guy. I get in the locker room at halftime, and I'll probably have like one catch, and I'll check my phone with my mom. She's mad. I'm like, just calm down. Then later on in the game, I get my catches, and I'll be fine. So
yeah.
I know my time's going to come.
So obviously Braylon's been playing at an incredible level. You played with a couple different quarterbacks along the way. Now, the page turns, and it's, Kirk at this point, and, maybe you see some other guys through the season. We'll see what happens here. But for a wide receiver, how difficult is that to adjust to a different quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's like you build that trust with that guy you want to throw the ball in. Kirk throws a great go ball, too, so I'm still excited to have Kirk.
Yeah. Brandon's obviously proven himself to be a good deep threat as well. I think he, going into the game of the night, 28 catches in his career, 7 touchdowns. Obviously, that makes things not easier for you, but it's nice to have that tandem, isn't it? It makes things, certainly for the offense, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Brandon, he makes me compete hard because I know if I don't catch it, they're going to go to him. And if he catches it, they're going to keep going to him. So I know I got to catch it every time it comes my way.
Yeah. So did different guys have better relationships with quarterbacks as far as just a good feel or chemistry?
I mean, I feel like everybody has their own relationship with a different guy. So
yeah,
it just depends on how.
Because I got the feeling Lester was slipping money in Braylon's pocket because he kept getting all the balls early in the season. He had 19 catches in 2 weeks.
I don't know what Lester's doing.
Yeah, he's catching everything, which is good.
Lester's just smiling a lot.
Yeah, he seems to be a very happy guy, and he's repping Natchez too, so that's good.
Well, let me tell you, and something to be said about Jakari. That was a big 80-yard touchdown catch the other night, but I thought the biggest play he made all night was on that 4th and 7. I mean. A huge moment down towards their goal line, and the tough part about the play call you make is, a lot of times you got 4th and 7, and the receivers run at 7 yards. You know what I mean? And now you're tackled. Now you're putting it in the referee's spot and all that stuff. Well, Jakari knew that route, knew that he needed to get past where the down marker was, and he ran it at about 8.5, and then almost got in the end zone. That was a huge play, and that's a credit to being a coach's son and understanding football and what you're trying to accomplish as the game goes on.
How do you guys work that in practice as far as getting to the sticks and things like that?
On down and distance, you got to get past the sticks. But Tulsa game, I remember I cut it short, and we had a punt. And so, I remember, I got to get deeper than what I usually get. Mm-hmm. And so I went about 10.
Great learning moment.
Yeah. Well, that'll pay off later in the season. This week, obviously, got to, Still feel bad for Braylon. It's going to be something that'll hang with us, obviously, for the season. But you got to turn the page and get ready for Houston Baptist. You get to come back home, which is great. Hopefully we get some good weather for a change, which would be nice. But what do you know about the Huskies? What's the preparation like this week?
They gave us a challenge last year. Their defense, they threw a lot of different stuff at us. So I'm excited to see what they got this year. I haven't really watched them yet.
Okay. You had a good game down there. Did you have a touchdown there last year?
No.
I remember you having a big catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember their defense was pretty nasty last year down there. What about for you long term? What's next for you after football here?
Right now I'm trying to get into grad school somewhere. I want to be a GA somewhere and coach.
Okay.
So
that's good. So the experience was good enough that you want to do it for a living, you think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, good luck this week. It's been fun watching you, and I certainly applaud you for your patience. Not everybody, especially your position, gets a bad rap for not being very patient or calm, but you've done a great job waiting your turn.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck the rest of the way. Jakari Dillard, good stuff. All right. Coach Brown, obviously the passing game has been really good all year, but you guys threw a little wrinkle in, had the extra week to prepare, and saw a little bit of the wild bear this week.
Yeah, we've got some unique athletes that have the ability to, that understand the game and have some ability to actually throw the football as well. And we put in a little wrinkle where we split the quarterback out and direct snap it to our running backs. And, whether it's Cedric or Carlos, both of them are in that package. It's an opportunity, another way to be creative and get them the football and give the defense a different look. Anytime you can get the defense, practicing or thinking about something, as they come to the sideline or within the next week, that's obviously an advantage toward us.
So, different guy, different thing. Did the two Blackman and Battle different things there?
Yeah, there's a couple. We rep them both at plays. Obviously you got to have a first team guy and a second team guy on everything, but both possess a little bit different qualities as far as it goes. So that's something that you'll definitely see us expand on as we push forward, especially with our quarterback situation.
In motion across the formation, fakes the handoff to him. Will go the other way. Kiki's got some room. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Central Arkansas, and Kier Crossley has finally broken loose.
All right, welcome back. Pizza Ranch in Conway. And we are going to talk a little defense here coming up with Jackie Harvell, who joins us, Arkansas native. And, I didn't get a chance to talk to Jakari about it, Coach. But when you look at the breakdown of your roster, the majority of your kids come from Arkansas, but a close second is Texas. Mm-hmm. So you had a nice contingent of fans and family members, and you obviously wasn't too far for Arkansas fans to go over and watch the game as well. But certainly Texas is key recruiting ground for anybody at any level.
Yeah, and the Houston area is huge for us. We've had a lot of success in that area, and just a great crowd, which our fans travel about as well as anybody in the conference. I mean, you looked up there in that whole right section of that our sideline was full, and just a really, really great thing whenever you got a crowd full of Bear fans, and it helps our kids play hard.
All right, well, let's bring him in now. Jackie Harvell, who we've heard a lot about him, and he showed some signs last year, getting more opportunities this year. The Gurdon Go Devil turned Central Arkansas Bear. Welcome. Obviously last week, tough challenge. You guys had never really seen this guy on tape, the quarterback, and they had gone away from Dare, who had really taken the majority of the snaps through the year. And I think in the only game he played, really, Coach, last week, he was 2 of 8 or something like that. So how difficult from your standpoint? You hadn't really seen this guy. How hard is it to get ready for a guy like that?
To be honest, we just had to take it back to the basics, to be honest. Like we seen quarterbacks like this all the time, like Braylon, Kirk, and all that. We got like Brashawn, all those guys. So we see numerous of different styles of quarterbacks. And so seeing a new quarterback, we should just be ready all the time because we see our quarterbacks because they have different styles of plays. So when we see a different quarterback come in from another team, we should just be ready. To be honest.
Well, the receivers are the guys that really get the lion's share of the attention when you're talking about Sam Houston State, but we saw a pretty good running back. Jackson had a heck of a game. Really, they tried to kind of make it easy. It looked like Coach sort of catered to the quarterback early on, and some easy throws to sort of get him in rhythm. Yeah. But as far as the difficulty there, the run game, and that's always been a part of it. I mean, the passing game always gets the attention, but how difficult was it dealing with the run game early on? Jackson was having some success out of the gate.
Oh, it was pretty hard. It was just pounding us as a person, but then we realized that we was pretty stronger than them, so we started just getting right and finishing them.
Yeah. You made some highlight reel plays on special teams last year, I remember. Is that something you like doing? You like being part of special teams too?
Yeah, I just like taking pride of running down at full speed.
Yeah? You like whacking guys?
Yeah.
You got to be careful these days, Coach. I mean, we had numerous stoppages the other day.
Well, and Jackie was one of them.
Yeah.
And it was a bang play and I thought great job by him. He was going low and trying to go with the technique that we teach, and their quarterback kind of dove at the same time, and I think that's what ultimately got it called. I mean, that the kid was kind of diving for the first down as Jackie was going low, and they kind of collided, and luckily they picked the flag up and it wasn't an issue. It was no harm, no foul on Jackie. So. But that's the way we coach, and it's tough on them. I mean, but y'all practice it every day.
Yes, sir.
It's the NFL has almost become a farce the way that they're calling things. How do you guys practice, and how hard is it to make a legal play for you guys at this level?
I mean, it's really hard. I mean, trying to hit put your face mask on your chest and stuff. I mean, they telling us to go to 100 miles per hour to hit someone, and then you have to let up, and it's pretty hard to do that. But I mean, you try to do it best way you can. I mean, there's no really right way to teach tackling once it's game time. I mean, either the main goal is just to get them down, but also you have to try to do fundamentals, but it's really hard to do the new rules and stuff.
Right, but you want to lay a lick too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Every time.
Yeah, you got to put a little attitude on it. So far this season, you've got, let's see here, 31 tackles, a tackle and a half for loss. Created some trouble here, forced fumble, so and a couple fumble recoveries. So you've been Jackie on the spot so far this year. It's been good. We just need to get it. We need an interception maybe in there. Mix one of those in.
Yes.
Okay. So what about for Houston Baptist? Have you guys had a chance? It's hard because we talk on Mondays every week. I guess you guys don't get a lot of tape time just yet. But anything you recall from last year? And Coach, I guess I would ask you too how similar what we're going to see this week offensively from them will be from last year.
Yeah, I think offensively, they've got a new coordinator. He's from the Texas Tech system. So they'll defense will see them spread the ball around, try to get the ball in the playmakers' hands quickly. Their quarterback's having a pretty good year so far statistically, and they put up numbers against teams. I mean, you look at anybody that puts up over 30 points against a McNeese defense is that's a pretty solid night. So the wins haven't came necessarily for them, but you can see improvement watching them on film. I watched them all day, both sides of the football, and they're a really good football team. I think they're just trying to figure out how to win, and that's something that obviously being still a fairly new program that their coaches are trying to instill in their players. But But they're going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They're a good football team, and man, they played good the other night against SMU. At some time. So Jackie and the defense, they're going to have to prepare hard and play hard, and hopefully we're the better football team on Saturday night.
Jackie, how'd you end up here at UCA?
Coach Brown recruited me.
Well done. What was your pitch?
Man,
You recruit him as a running back?
Whatever you got to do to get him here. That's what.
Did you want to play offense when you came?
Most definitely.
Did you play? You played both ways in high school?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a unique deal. So Jackie came on, and we had an immediate need, in the secondary, and we knew he went both ways. Here's the amazing part. This is what's crazy about his signing class is we signed 3 running backs in that signing class. Carlos Blackman, Kiera Crossley, and Jackie Harvell.
Those are 3 good ones, Coach.
Yeah, and so and Jackie probably could be just as good or better than both of them guys. That's the scary part. So, but Jackie was I remember having the conversation with him, bringing him into the office, and telling him that once summertime got there that he was we were thinking moving him to safety, and he didn't blink an eye.
Yeah.
And I remember him giving credit to his high school coach, Coach Jackson, and tell him that's the way he was raised. I'm going to do what's best for the team.
So, Jackie, we were all wondering, we were talking earlier, to Jackie Harvell over just tuning in. What do you do in Gurdon for fun?
Oh, man.
Something
that you can tell me about.
Something in the pasture.
I mean, anything.
Yeah.
It's like.
Makes it easy to focus on sports, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a lot to do down there.
Did you play other sports? You ran track, you said.
And baseball.
Okay. What was your what'd you play in baseball?
Center.
Okay. Ran everything down?
Yeah.
That's good.
Could you hit?
Bunt. They made me bunt.
He can run. We know that.
Yeah.
You are you've been tabbed as the next coming of George Odom. Is that reasonable, you think?
I mean, yeah. I mean, people see that as me, but I want to be a little more better.
Okay.
Because that's probably what he want me to do too.
Yeah. What do you do better than George, or what's something you feel like maybe is a strength that George needed to work on? I mean, he is sitting on an NFL roster, so he's obviously doing a lot of things right. Anything you feel like you could potentially be better than George at? Who's faster?
Me.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Well, hey, I think I would just stop right there. That's pretty impressive.
Well, here's Jackie and George are a lot. Shoot, if you look at them next to each other, very similar body types, very similar speed, very similar football players.
Yeah, that's what we talk about all the time.
One thing Jackie has that George didn't quite have even, but I'm sitting here, is he's probably a little faster, but Jackie's got a little bit thicker frame than George. Jackie's got a body that can take a pounding and all that. So, the future is bright for this dude, but Jackie's playing at a high level right now.
You still got over 2 years left, so we got a ways before you're even thinking about that. But if you could be drafted by anybody today, who would it be? Is there a team you'd love to play for?
Ooh, the Saints.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. That's my favorite place to go watch football, so that would be great. I hope that works out for you. Jackie, good luck this week, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, keep up the good work. Jackie Harvell, good stuff. Yeah, we'll talk more about the matchup here coming up, Coach. But, defensively, overall, despite, Brock having some good numbers, you obviously saw some things you liked. You guys did pick him off, forced a fumble that was huge late.
Man, I'll tell you, our defense played good, and we talked about it. Coach Thurman actually visited about it today at a luncheon, and our defense played absolutely great football in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. I mean, the first quarter that we held them to scoreless, the fourth quarter in overtime held them to 6 points. So great play there. The second and third quarter, we just kind of fell asleep in some areas, and I'll tell you, if you take away 2 absolutely phenomenal catches, highlight reel catches, on some third down situations in 2 different drives, I mean, they're probably punting or kicking a field goal, and it's a different ball game. So here's what I do know out of our defense. You're going to get maximum effort. You're going to make teams work to score. I mean, it's amazing, how well our defense is playing right now at not giving up the big plays. I mean, they are making teams drive to score and making them work at it. And anytime you can do that and not give up the chunk plays and the explosive plays, then you're probably going to have a successful night on defense. So very pleased at the way they're playing. Our kids are playing hard, and that's going to set up well. And usually our offense feeds off our defense and vice versa. So it's a good time.
You could typically say this in a close game, but there were, 8, 10 plays. Oh, literally, if you make one of those plays, or it goes a little different, and you're talking about a mix of offense and defense, game maybe comes out a little different.
Football's such a game of inches, and you talk about a catch or a guy barely being in bounds on a catch, getting reviewed and it got upheld. All those things that you can point at one play. Usually you can say, well, man, if we didn't get the field goal blocked in overtime, that's a play. That's one of the 8 or 10 plays, but you never know when there's a first quarter play that can affect the whole football game. So, and that's what we constantly talk about to our players. That's why you got to be a fast starting team and never let off the brakes, because you never know when your play or your block or your catch or your tackle or whatever it may be the deciding play, especially in a game that's so evenly matched between two great football teams. I mean, there's room for errors a lot of weeks, and this conference continues to get better with quality teams, and it's going to be a grind all year. But when you're playing a team the caliber of Sam Houston, every play counts, and it's important, especially on the road.
Well, and for those who are watching the game, Davion Davis made one of the best catches you'll ever see. It was very Odell Beckham Jr.-ish, and it was spectacular coverage. It couldn't have been any better. He just rose up and made a one-handed grab, and unfortunately came up with it on a 3rd and 5. If he doesn't, they're kicking a field goal, and maybe the game comes out different in regulation.
I'm telling you, and I'm patting Robert on the butt. I mean, I thought phenomenal coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, just he's right there. He's in a perfect position, and the kid makes a phenomenal catch. I think that's a very skilled football player. He's going to be playing in the NFL one day.
Yeah.
And I think Robert Rochelle has that same potential too. I really do. I mean, he's playing at an extremely, extremely high level right now. And really all our corners are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the way Duke Upshaw, Trey Mosley, and Robert Rochelle are playing, every ball is contested, and even the catches they're making are highlight reel catches. So couldn't be more pleased with the way our secondary is playing right now. And then, if we can get our pass rush pinned back and all that, our defense is in great shape.
Yeah, don't want to be fooled. I mean, Davis is an All-American. I mean, he's a guy that made first team in this conference at 3 positions. So I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah. All-purpose, punt returner, and then at wide receiver. So, but the good news is Bears got some good guys too, and they will bounce back this week against Houston Baptist. Again, 6 o'clock kick against the Huskies. Since you brought it up, I was going to ask about it anyway, but in watching the tape, what went wrong there on the blocked field goal?
I'll tell you what, it was a good play by the kid. I mean, they didn't necessarily send more than we could handle. And I'll tell you, if you watch the film, and I slowed it down 50 times probably, just to, that's what coaches do. We evaluate and critique everything we do. And if you watch it, there's a sliver of a hand that gets up, and there's probably 5 feet on either side of it, where if it's not in that 1 inch or that however wide a hand is, the ball probably goes through the uprights. And that's what I'm talking about. Football's such a game of inches. And then you flip the switch, we stop them three plays, force a field goal, and we get a hand on their kick. We get Cardell Best puts his hand, and it tips his hand, and ball just for whatever reason didn't get enough of it and went straight through the uprights.
Also had a learning experience. There is the new rule this year, for those who don't know, you can fair catch a kickoff, and then you take it out to the 25.
Yep.
And the other day, Cedric got a little bit crossed up, thought you could take a knee in the same way, and it would still come out to the 25. Unfortunately, took a knee at the 1. And I jokingly said in the booth, I guess he wants a 99-yard drive. So that was the same drive that you throw the touchdown to Jakari, so it actually worked out fine. But, again, it's amazing how often, how long these guys have been playing, how long we've all been playing. But when there's a rule change, sometimes it can get you thinking a little bit sideways.
Well, I can promise you, as a coach, we're not looking for 99-yard drives. So we will take the ball on the 25 any day of the week. So let's get that, make sure that's straight. But a learning moment for Cedric, a learning moment for us as coaches. And I think he may have lost track of where he was on the field and just kind of thought, okay, well, now I can take a knee. I'm in good shape. But, the ball, once that ball hits the ground, you either got to let it roll through the back of the end zone or you got to field it and go play. So that ball had bounced, and then he thought, okay, well, I can take a knee. And just a learning moment. And I'm glad it didn't escalate to be a problem. Our offense was obviously able to overcome that situation. But again, I there's a way to handle situations. There's a way not to handle it. In my opinion, I pulled Cedric to the side and I just laughed and said, hey, don't do it next time.
Yeah.
This is a learning moment. I mean, I could scream and yell at him, but that's not going to get anything accomplished. So we had a moment there to speak about it, learn from it, and I can assure you won't make that mistake again.
I will tell you this too before we hit the break here. A lot of coaches are very wary when you're backed up like that to try to run the football because any slip, any bad snap can result in a safety. it showed me that the confidence is growing in the run game because you guys were handing it off and pounding it out, giving yourself a little room before we delivered the touchdown.
No question. Big time plays by the offense. I think Carlos was in right there, and great job by the O-line, getting the ball out of the goal line and giving us a chance to have a drive after that.
All right, no doubt. We will take a
Center goes ball, puts a man in motion, has Kiki set behind him, goes back to pass, throwing back to the other side, has a man, flag on the play, touchdown Central Arkansas, they don't need it. What a play by Baugh, are you kidding me? What a catch by Short.
Indeed it was. Welcome back. And Jack Short with a Bearcat defender draped on him, got the flag and made the catch anyway. Didn't leave anything to chance, Coach. And that was a unique play we talked about. And there were a couple bobbled snaps you talked about. Kirk coming off the sideline, hadn't had a chance to warm up really. It's just like, hey, get in there. And things were not exactly as efficient as maybe we're used to seeing. It'll be nice to let him have a full week of preparation. But he got a hold of it and made the play when it counted.
Yeah, just a huge play, and to execute it, and then to make the throw where he threw it, and he had to throw it in one spot, and it was across the field, and that was kind of the design of the play, and then a great catch by Jack. I mean, Jack to me is someone you don't talk a whole lot about. He was a high school tackle at Bentonville High School, played offensive tackle, never played tight end in his life till he got here. He was an undersized tackle. We signed him, and he played last year as a true freshman, and then this year's his sophomore year, and just a great player. He's a good tight end that doesn't get as much credit as he probably deserves, but you'll continue to see him make plays as we move forward.
You've got a number of guys at that position. We've talked about it before. We haven't seen the converted quarterback yet.
Yeah, Colt Harfield has been working at tight end. He got his body up to about 245 pounds, and his frame. He's 6'7", and he's had a good run at it. And I think eventually you will see him in action in some form or fashion. He continues to have a great attitude and works hard and understands our system and what we're trying to do. And with our quarterback situation, you could see him doing some dual role stuff in both rooms. So it's just it's a unique deal. It's good to have a guy like Colt on your team.
So what is the depth chart going into this week then?
It's obviously we're pushing forward with Kirk, and he's had big time plays here. Obviously one of the biggest was the other night. But you go all the way back to his true freshman year and being forced into playing as a true freshman with injuries and some different situations. Didn't blink an eye, went out and handled his business and helped us win some football games. So, we'll push forward with Kirk, but I can promise you that those other two guys that are in that room, Bishawn McCray and Luke Hales, have both been put on notice. They're ready to go, and you'll probably see two, maybe all three of them. As we move forward, we're going to need every one of them to have success, and Bishawn brings the tool to the table that we haven't had here in a long time with his athletic ability and ability to run, and he can obviously still throw the football. And Luke Hales is a big, strong, tough kid that's kind of a winner type, and so we're excited about it, and it's going to be a challenge and something that obviously I don't think Coach Collins is going to be sleeping real well this week, but that's okay. But that's why we got in this profession, and those guys are on scholarship too, and our expectations are not going to change.
Some difficulty in the game, and it was a game that drags on, and college football gets a bad rap anyway because the games can tend to take too long because of various reasons. It's been lightning delays to blame the last couple of weeks. This week, a very efficient overtime period, I will say. But there were a lot of reviews, Coach, and I know they want to get it right, but it does make it tough for the flow of the game. I'm not going to ask you to criticize it, but it does make it challenging.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that was probably the most reviewed game I've been a part of, and especially this year. I mean, I know as a head coach has been the most. And there was some 50-50 plays that were close. But it's tough. It's tough, especially when you have TV timeouts, and then you have to take another, 2 or 3 or 4, however many it was, reviewable timeouts with targetings and spots and some different situations. It can kill the flow of the game, and I'm sure Sam Houston feels the same way too. I mean, it's probably not just our side. So, it's you appreciate obviously the ability and the technology to get the call right, or right, majority of the time. But at the same time, it can be frustrating. But that's just part of the game, and that's what we've got to get used to.
Their top tackler was ejected for targeting, which again, a great break for the Bears. Do you have any opinion one way or the other on whether or not do you like that rule? Would you rather see kids have a chance to stay in the game?
Yeah, because here's the deal. I don't think that any time a kid's, I don't think there's any malice or there's not. And Jackie mentioned it earlier. You're not going to hurt anybody. I don't ever think that intention is there for 99% of the players that get ejected for targeting. And if you look at the situation, there's probably some situations where a kid deserves to get ejected. Maybe a cheap shot on the quarterback. Maybe the kid's on the sideline. It's out of bounds. That's a different deal. But it's such a tough deal to ask a defender. And I'm an offensive guy, so I mean you would think that I would take the stance on the offensive side, but I see the difficulty of a defender when you're running full speed, and then the defender's going to tackle, and then the offensive player is naturally going to cringe up and lower his body or try to run over you or what. Naturally, your hit section is going to drop. Therefore, you're going to get more helmet-to-helmet contact. So it's tough. And you look at situations like that, and you wish that there was a discretion there. But I think and I'm a big believer. It's as tough on the refs as it is anything. I mean, those guys have got to make that decision in a quick amount of time, and there's so much gray area in the rule. It's tough on those guys.
Could have E in the house. Little cheering section over there. But, Coach, back on the stripes. Second time this year, and it's nice to be home, obviously. Houston Baptist coming here. They are 1-3, 0-2 in conference play. What alerted me or concerned me, they scored 34 points on McNeese, and that is not an easy thing to do. So what kind of challenge can you expect this week when you see them?
Well, they have a lot of energy. I think they've got some excitement down in Houston. Got a new offensive coordinator this year. He's really got their offense ticking and flowing. Their quarterback, they've settled on a quarterback, and he's playing really well. I mean, he's putting up good numbers. So I think they're going to be a challenge. I think they're going to come up here ready to beat us. I think they were one of the toughest games we played last year. I mean, if you look back at our schedule last year, I mean, we went down to Houston and struggled, and came away with a 27-7 win, I believe. But it was hard work. So we're not taking these guys lightly. We are 100% focused on Houston Baptist and what they're about. They're going to bring a great challenge on defense because of what they do. They run a 3-3 stack defense, which you don't see every day. And then we're kind of breaking in a new quarterback, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, identifying people and some different fronts and coverages and some stuff. So a great challenge on both sides of the football, and they've got some great players. They recruit Houston and Texas, so they're going to have naturally have some great athletes. So it's going to take a good week of preparation and a good game. Yeah,
and out of the frying pan into the fire, you get another dual-threat quarterback this week. Zappe, 27 of 49, 226, a couple touchdowns in the game against SMU, and he's also one of their leading rushers, 40 carries on the season. Now, he's been sacked 10 times, but he likes to run it too, so you're going to have to be on point there.
Yeah, and that's a lot of discipline in our defensive front and, not getting out of their lanes and containing the quarterback and containing the edge, and then the ability to just run them down once he does break the pocket.
All right, Coach, 2-minute drill. Here we go. Last book you read.
Oh, goodness. Phil Knight's book.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
All right.
Forgot what it was called, but it was a great book.
That's okay. What music are you listening to? What do you listen to when you're in the car?
Not
what the kids make you listen to at camp on practice.
I'm more of a 103.7 The Buzz guy.
That's good. Good answer. I'd like to. Yeah, can I get a round of applause for that?
Yeah.
Good. Sports Talk Radio.
Yep.
Talk good about the Bears almost always on there.
No question.
Favorite board or card game?
Oh, wow. Uno.
Okay.
Enjoy Uno.
All right.
You consider that a card game?
Absolutely. The best.
Board game, probably Monopoly. I played that growing up a lot.
Do you talk trash?
I'm pretty good at Monopoly now. I've been in some battles where you've been playing for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
so.
You're relentless. You hang in there, huh?
Yeah.
Usually I throw the board off the table by then. What about your least favorite? Is there one you've been talked into you're not a big fan of?
Oh, man, I'm not a huge fan of just card games.
Okay.
When it comes to anybody, wants to play card games.
Pinochle?
Not a huge fan.
Not a thing?
But
let me just say this. Phase 10, you ever played Phase 10?
I haven't.
Yeah, most frustrating game on earth. It's sort of a Uno cousin, distant cousin.
Okay.
If you were forced to eat fast food for every single meal, what would be your top couple places?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah?
Chick-fil-A would definitely be one. And then I would probably say something like you mix it up like a Popeyes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which that's both chicken, I guess.
That's good.
But they're
Big
both
chicken
good.
guy.
They're both good.
Yeah, well, and of course we love the Pizza Ranch too. I mean, it's more, it's
not
casual. It's not fast food.
If I had
Yeah,
to pick a buffet.
yeah, obviously.
this would
Yeah,
be the
I
place.
didn't mean to put you in a tough spot there. Yes, their chicken's phenomenal though.
No question.
So I mean,
No
let's
question.
just keep that in mind. Okay, and then last thing, do you get more from watching NFL or college? If you're looking for ideas.
Probably college.
Okay.
Probably college. I mean, I think the creativity is a little bit deeper in college at times. But you know, you can get something out of both of them. You know, we watch a lot of NFL film in the off season.
Can you watch for fun, or is it always coach stuff?
You know, now, I actually can watch for fun. I actually can, and that's something that I do. You know, when I get a chance. You know, obviously, you know, I watch for leisure for sure.
All right, games around the league this weekend. Abilene Christian's at McNeese. Sam Houston's at SFA. Got the actually they're playing in Houston. They've got the Battle of the Piney Woods this weekend. Southeastern at Incarnate Word. Nichols and Northwestern State a 6 o'clock kick along with Houston Baptist here in Conway. Big one for the Bears, bouncing back. Coach, good luck this week, and can't wait to see what happens with the quarterback play. But I know you'll have them ready. You guys always do. And Coach Collins can take a nap on Sunday.
Hey, that's why we have 4 quarterbacks on staff.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we're here for.
Coach, good luck this week.
Thanks.
All right, thanks to everybody coming out tonight. Thanks for listening in tonight to the Nathan Brown Show. We'll be back next week to recap a big win for the Bears over Houston Baptist here at Pizza Ranch in Conway. Good night.